Here we go then. Welcome, Aleix Espargaro, Aprilia Racing captain,
Thank you.
to the MotoGP podcast. So as I was just saying, you're our first rider of the season, so no pressure.
A pleasure to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you and chat to you. Now, we chose you obviously because, as everyone hopefully knows by now, it's the 1000th Grand Prix in the history of the FIM Grand Prix World Championship. And you, doing the numbers, we were just saying, is it 305 or 306? But it's nearly a third of all the Grand Prix ever that you've taken part in. So that is going to be the obvious starting question. How does that feel? And do you feel like part of that history now that we're here for such a big weekend?
So hello everybody. The first thing is congratulations to everybody that make this possible, this milestone. I mean, 1000 GPs is crazy number, and for everybody who loves this sport as me, it's a pleasure, you know, to be part of this history. I'm getting old, so I race.
I didn't say that. I was like, does it sound crazy?
No, but 1000 races are a lot of races, and when you race more than 300 once, means that you have to be old. But I'm very happy and proud of what I achieved, and hopefully MotoGP will do 1000 more.
Hopefully it will, exactly. Good sentiment. So yeah, obviously you said old. We're not using that word. We're going to say experienced.
Experience
because
is
also true. Lots of experience, and in a few different classes as well. What's the biggest change now being in the paddock in 2023 compared to almost 20 years ago when you arrived for the first time?
I mean, when you arrive as a kid, because I was 15 years old and you are a kid, it was like a game. You don't know what the meaning of pressure, responsibility was. Now it's completely different. I have a lot of people, a full factory, a lot of families that depends of my results, which it means that it gives you a lot of pressure, a lot of stress, a lot of responsibility. You have to develop a bike. You have to be the image for many marketing products. So it's completely another story. It's like more a job now, but I still have fun like this 15 years old kid.
Well, I was going to say then, what about you is different to when you first arrived? Not just the sport and your role here. What's like what you've learned while you've been here, and kind of how you've changed as a person?
I think I'm a lot less nervous than before. I was uncontrollable when I arrived in the championship. I was all the day doing bad things with the scooter around the paddock. I remember at that time with Nico Terol, Sandro Cortese, many young riders when he arrived in the championship. And yes, I think I'm a little bit more calm. I'm a family man right now. Everything has changed completely. And so for me, the most important thing is what I learned by working on a factory, first on Suzuki and now on Aprilia, to develop the bike. It was a completely new thing for me, and it's something that I really love it.
I was going to say then, so in terms of that, obviously your role's different, everything you kind of do is different, but you said already you love the sport. What is it about the sport then that you love? And then we'll talk about Aprilia and development and kind of your career now.
I mean, everybody is asking during these days for the 1000 GP what changed the most. And I will say that many things has changed, but one thing didn't, and is the adrenaline, the feeling that these bikes give to you doesn't change at all. Yeah, now we have wings, we have anti-wheelie control and whatever you want, but the speed and the adrenaline when you release the brake going into the corner is the same. It's the same when I arrived in 2005 than today in 2023, and this is what I love of this sport.
So, okay, well, I'm sure we all agree as well. That's why we all watch it. Obviously, we can't quite take part, don't have the talent. But so in terms of watching then, you must have been obviously a fan as well when you started riding. What's your favourite race of the 1000 Grand Prix history, would you say? What's the one where you still just remember that feeling of like, wow?
I remember an incredible race. We are coming from Jerez, and I remember a race in Jerez, I think it was 99. I raced a nice fight against Duhan against Cribillet. I remember that the crowd, the people goes into the track, and the last lap was dramatic. Cribillet had some gap on the lead, but lose this gap for the people in the middle of the track. He high side and lose the race. And I remember the race. I was at home. I think I was around 10 years old, and I started to really love the sport and you know, start to ride, to do some races, and I remember quite a lot.
I guess in that situation you were Team Cribillet.
I was Team Cribillet, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, right?
Cribillet was, you know, was very important for all of us because was the first Spanish rider really to succeed on the maximum category, and he allowed that all the rest of the Spanish riders arrive and keep going.
He did. He's kind of a trailblazer with that, and Alberto Puig just before as well with that win. So okay, now I'm going to ask the obvious question: your favourite race of yours, but you can't say Argentina win.
I will not say Argentina win.
Really? Okay. What would you say?
I mean, the first podium I did in the championship was in my home GP in Barcelona in Moto2. Was one very good memories. But one race that I remember with really love was I think it was Assen 2014. It was under the rain, and I was fighting with the forward bike against Pedrosa for the podium. I lost the podium on the last lap against Danny. He was in Repsol Honda, but it was the first time that I was fighting with an idol for a podium, so for me it was like crazy. And I remember that was not a podium, but one of my favorites.
So 2014, so later that year then you did get the podium on the forward bike,
I did the podium later on in Aragon.
With you and Crutchlow, absolutely almost.
Yes, that was also a really, really good one, because it was my first podium in MotoGP class. But it was like a crazy dramatic race, dry, then rain, a lot of crashes. But
I was there as a fan then.
Yeah,
I remember that so clearly. It was dramatic. I was at turn 1, and I think both Marquez and Pedrosa crashed at turn 1, no? And you could hear
leading the race. Yeah.
Yeah,
crazy.
Dramatic day, but obviously a great milestone for you as well. And you always performed so well in that, like in the open category. You always seemed to really thrive and just get the most out of it that was possible. Then you moved to factory, like you said, kind of a different ball game, as you say in English. I don't know if people our age are meant to say that, but I'll use it. How is that change? Because it must have been quite a step from there to then Suzuki and that kind of factory setup.
Yeah, I mean, my career wasn't easy. I'm not saying that has been easy for everybody here. I mean, everybody works hard to arrive in MotoGP, but on my case was quite strange, because I raced with the CRT class, then I moved to open category, and then finally I arrived to a factory or like Suzuki. And it was completely different. I remember when I was in forward, when we did a solid year, we were very competitive, but I have 2 bikes, almost no spare parts, and from the first race to the last one, the only important thing was to throw new tire and be fast as possible. Exactly, just full gas and that's it. But when I arrived in Suzuki, and it was one of the best days of my career. I remember when I jumped on the bike in Valencia the Monday after the race. The first time I rode the bike, I see the atmosphere of the team, Japanese team, that was completely another story, completely different. It was crazy, the amount of work you have to do to develop the bike, but how beautiful it is to see the improvements, to see, you know, the beginning and the end of the year. It was, I really enjoyed it.
Well, it was great for us to see as well from the outside, obviously, and great to see, like you said, you've done MotoGP, Moto2, CRT, Open, like lots of different stuff, and then get to that factory team. It must have been a special moment. What's the biggest thing you learned from that? Was it more on the technical side and development? Was it about you as a person, obviously in a new environment with a bit more pressure?
Yeah, I mean, during these years, obviously, I had to adapt to work with Italians or with the Japanese. It's completely another story. And I've been lucky enough to work with such a big factory like Suzuki, full of Japanese, and now in Aprilia, it is full Italian. It's completely different approach, a way of work. And I also have to really, you know, to adapt, to extract the maximum from them, because it's different to work with one or the others. And yeah, also personally, I think I grow quite a lot. And during this year, especially in Suzuki, that was like new bike from zero. I learned quite a lot to how to set up the bike, how to try new parts, how to talk with the engineers. And I think that everything that I learned in Suzuki, I really used in Aprilia, and it pays off.
Well, I was going to say then, you've given us a perfect segue. Aprilia. It's been pretty incredible watching over the past few seasons, and especially from where the project started, kind of struggling for points at times, but obviously they've also got an incredible history in Grand Prix. It's one of the manufacturers with the most kind of wins across all classes. Now then, how has it been from your perspective in the team to go from where you were to where you are now? Like, you've taken that Grand Prix win, their first MotoGP win as well. How's that journey been for you from the inside of Aprilia?
You know, the problem is that in this life, in this sport, everything is super quick. You have no time to stop and look
need
behind.
The pause button.
Exactly.
For a few.
It will be really nice to pause a little bit and you know, to enjoy and to realize what we are doing. But unfortunately and luckily at the same time, we have no time to do that. We have to look forward, to keep going, to keep improving, racing. But when I arrived in Aprilia, as you said, we were not even able to score points. We arrived at 1 minute in some races, and this journey has been like a dream because Aprilia worked very, very hard, and I worked very hard. And the last season we did, I think, with Maverick, 10 podiums. So we won our first race. We fight for the title until the end. So I'm really, really proud of this journey. And yes, I will have forever Aprilia in my heart because what we achieved, what we did, is historically.
It genuinely is. Like, I mean, I think a lot of the time we're a bit guilty in this part of being like, oh, right. But that is genuinely such a huge change. Like, even just last year, there was some tracks where it was like, Aprilia's best result here is 13th. And now you kind of set yourselves a bit of a challenge because it's like, Aprilia took their first podium at Le Mans last season. So it's like, well, what are you going to do this year? But this season then, obviously it's been a bit of a tougher start maybe. In pre-season, it looked like you were the only guys who had anything really for Ducati. Had some ups and downs, but we've got so many races, so many points on the table this year as well, and obviously the addition of the Tissot Sprint. What are you feeling now inside the camp in Aprilia?
I mean, it can sound a bit weird what I will say, but I feel that the bike is better than last year, we are faster than last year, but at the end, it's not really important how I feel. The important thing is how many points you have on the championship, and I don't have the same points than I had last year. So obviously we have to improve somewhere. I think that on Sunday we are not really performing at our maximum level. This is something that I have to improve. But I'm really happy of the bike that I have this year. I think it's the best Aprilia I had so far, definitely much better than last year one. So hopefully I don't like to talk about luck. For me, I don't really like to talk about luck, but I was not really good, and I didn't extract the best of the bike on Sunday. So hopefully, as you just said, we have many races in front of us, and I will turn the situation.
Especially, I mean, I think if we'd asked Pecco that question last year after Germany, it shows that you really can turn around the whole season when you just get in that kind of, okay, I won't say run of good luck, but once you get in the groove, are we allowed to say that?
Exactly.
Then you can really kind of bring that back. But in terms of the structure then, we had Massimo on the podcast in Texas.
Okay.
And he was talking about, obviously, his role was kind of a new role after Romano moved over to purely be the technical side of the team.
Yep.
How has that been from the inside for you? Because it seems to have been certainly you, Maverick, and both of their experience seems to have played such a role in this turnaround. Yeah,
I mean, but when I arrived in Aprilia already 6 or 7 years ago, I realized I've been to Noale, to the factory, and I realized this factory have a big potential. I mean, we have one of the best race laps of the championship. We have good engineers, as you mentioned before, one of the most historical brands of this championship. But I had the feeling that we didn't really put everything together, that we had not good structure on the team. So when Massimo arrived, Romano was able to, because when I arrived, I was discussing, my manager discussed the contract with Romano, and I discussed the new engine with Romano, and I discussed the flight to Japan with Romano. So obviously Romano is very, very intelligent guy, but it's not, I mean, it's difficult to be in charge of everything. So when we organize better the factory, actually there is almost the same people. Obviously we have more engineers now, more resources, but there is basically the same people when I started in 2017, and I'm really proud of this.
17 now already?
Yes.
That is quite a long time.
Yeah, it's quite a long time, and Massimo was able really to extract the best of everybody in their places to organize everything, and it was crucial.
Well, obviously as well, a change for this season is we've got the RNF team now with Aprilia.
Yep.
Last year's spec, 2 pretty fast riders. Obviously, again, luck. Can we say bad luck for Miguel? I feel like Miguel
In this case, I allow you to say that Miguel has really bad luck.
Yeah, he truly has this year. So how is that kind of from your perspective? Is there information exchange? Do you work together on the rider level? Is it at factory level? Because obviously having an independent team, it must help towards the overall goal of kind of taking that championship, taking more wins.
Yes. So already 3 years ago, I started to push Massimo to have a satellite team. It was for me very important because there is no time to try everything. There is some places where I cannot be at my maximum level, and other riders can be faster with the same bike. Then you can use their data to compare and to improve, and then you can raise up the level of the riders. So from this year we have this satellite team with, I will say, 2 very, very strong and very talented riders. Raúl is struggling a little bit to understand the bike yet, but Miguel has been fast from the beginning. But yes, this time he have a lot of bad luck, and unfortunately he's not really helping on improve the level of the bike because he's missing races. But I already use his data in America, in Portimao as well. He's been better than me in some areas, so it's always good to have strong teammates because it makes you better.
Well, speaking of then, another perfect segue. Maverick, obviously quite a high-profile switch at the time it happened, and then took a little bit of time for him to get up to speed with the Aprilia.
Yeah.
But now it seems like you guys are quite well matched a lot of the time. Is that a really worthwhile relationship to have in the box? Because obviously you've worked together before as well. You seem to get on quite well. Maybe you'll tell us, sneak preview, no, it's pure war. But
No.
you seem to have a really good relationship,
Yes.
and it seems to also be a really positive thing for the factory and the team as well.
Yes, I mean, Maverick, as everybody knows, is one of the biggest talents of this paddock, you know, so to have him at my side, it really motivates me a lot, and it helped me a lot in some tracks that I struggled to compare with him. Also on the test days, we can try different things, and when it's normally, almost always when it's something works for him, it will work for me. So this is super helpful for the engineers and for the team. And I have the feeling that this year, in a couple of circuits, both of us, we've been at the maximum level of the RGP, and this is the first time that it happens in the history of Aprilia that 2 riders in MotoGP are able to extract the maximum of the Aprilia machine, and I think it's very good for the team.
Well, what are you expecting then from the rest of the season? Obviously, like you said, it seems more about making everything come together. Easier said than done when you actually have to make that happen on the track, and obviously there's so many things it depends on. But do you have any kind of new goals now after it's been a bit of a tougher time? Is there just like, okay, this weekend we have to at least do this and then we build up to this, or how is the dynamic and how are you kind of approaching it?
So I will say that, or at least what for me is the most difficult thing is to be fast, to have the speed, and we have the speed. We've been the fastest in Jerez, we've been the fastest in Argentina. Yes, we've been really fast we did the fast lap in Portimao. So we are fast, but we have to find the consistency on Sunday. This is the most important thing. The goal didn't change. I mean, my dream and my goal is to fight for every victory in every GP and to fight for the title. Sincerely, I have the feeling that Pecco is one step better than the rest. He's feeling really good at this moment with his bike, but even him is making mistakes. He's not far in the championship, and this year we have many points on the table. So I still believe that it's possible to achieve our goals.
And what do you make of the rest of the grid then? Because like we said in pre-season, it looked like it was like, okay, bit of an Italian duel at the top. We saw a pretty incredible performance from KTM last time out. We saw Alex Rinz's pretty much display in the Americas GP. That was pretty incredible. What do you make of everyone else on the grid when you kind of sit there on the grid and think, who's strong where? And
yeah, I mean, but everybody, there is 12 riders, at least 12 riders that can win this weekend in Le Mans. So this makes this sport really excitement right now. I applaud what KTM is doing, but I still don't really understand how they improve that quick, how they are that fast. Again, congratulations to them because they really changed the situation. But I still believe that the reference bike is the Ducati and Pecco. They are the fastest, and we are just trying to catch him. But many Ducatis, also the Muni guys, are really impress everybody. I mean, it's a very difficult championship.
Well, it is, but we have seen you have some incredible speed, like I said, Paul and Jerez. I've got to ask you though, the start. Certainly, late race pace, Maverick is always his forte. We've seen you, I mean, I think you didn't win the Ago Award last year, but I think you had the overtake of the decade, if not the century in Assen. Absolutely incredible, just like, right, it's going. But yeah, what with the start, obviously you started on pole, the KTM's got that whole shot on the 4 times eventually the lights went out.
4 times, crazy.
Are you doing anything specific to work on that?
Yes, definitely, yes. We know how important it is because actually our problem is when we are behind the other bikes on Sunday. I struggle a lot with the front tire, and I will love to start on the first place and have nobody in front to put my pace on and try to go away. But unfortunately in Jerez on the 4 stars I lose many positions. So from Monday on the test we work quite a lot with the
We saw you guys doing a lot of
I did a lot of
well.
starts, trying some new stuff, trying some new strategies. Unfortunately we are not ready to use it here in Le Mans, but we know it's one of the most important things right now.
Okay, cool. Yeah, especially obviously with the TC Sprint.
Yeah.
Everything's so condensed, that start can really make a lot of difference.
Yes.
But, well, okay, we hope that you have an incredible weekend here in Le Mans. We'd also have a few fan questions for you, if we can. Some of them a bit more normal than others. There's only 4 of them. So
I'm get used with this, my long career to see more crazy questions than others, but I'm open to answer
I think they're good. So the first one is, I think you're obviously going to say yes, but we're going to ask you. It's from Ralph16 on Twitter. Do you think you can win another GP this season?
Yes, at all. Hopefully not just one. I was aiming really to win in Argentina, in Jerez, in this first part of the season. I failed on these 2, but I will try to achieve it already in Le Mans.
Well, there you go. I was going to say, which do you think are more likely? Like for you, obviously we saw you win in Argentina, but we've also seen you have really good speed at some other places. Is there anywhere in your head where you're like, maybe here will be my...
But you know, it's crazy this year because I've been fast even in America, in my world circuit. So
last year, obviously that was a really difficult weekend.
Exactly.
But yeah, this year
I almost finished in the podium in the sprint, and I crashed when I was in the front in Sunday race. So I mean, if you have the speed, you can win every Sunday.
You can win every... Okay, we love that answer.
I will try.
I was going to say, I'd like to meet a rider who's just like, no, I don't think I can win. It's just like, it's not your mentality, is it?
Go home.
Okay, so we've got another one from Corey Steele. This is a more interesting one because it's not just who would you choose an actor to play you in a movie, but who would you want to play you in a movie where you win this year's MotoGP championship, you retire and announce it on the podium at Valencia in the final race, and then you go on to wear the yellow jersey in the Tour de France.
That's a good story, eh?
Right? Who would you want to play you for that story?
Which actor?
Yeah.
I love Denzel Washington, but I guess he's a bit too old to do this character. So
especially given what he's got to do.
Yeah, exactly. So good question. I will think about it, but it will be a good story. Will be a good one.
We expect the script, please, for next time out.
Okay.
And we'll get working on it. Okay, so Denzel Washington. I mean, given that amount of story, we can say maybe we can make it in 1990, and then Denzel will be fine.
Okay. Sounds good.
Denzel Washington, then there's the answer. So Cassidy, this is a good one. And I'm going to say for this one, you can't choose Pole.
I can't choose Pole,
That's the cheat answer slightly, because I imagine you spent 24 hours in a room with him before. Which rider would you rather be trapped in a room with for 24 hours?
No, it's an easy one. Actually, we'll not say Paul, because I love him so much, but for sure
24 hours intense.
We will fight. So I will say Jorge Martin. We are really good friends, and actually we are quite different, but we are good friendship. We are good relations, so we will have some fun.
How do you think that would be with the 2 of you trapped in a room for 24 hours? To move on from that question, because 24 hours is quite a long time, eh?
24 hours is quite a long time.
Who would be the calm one? Who would be having the breakdown?
No, Jorge is extremely nervous, super nervous. Obviously, he's younger, a lot younger than me, but he's very, very nervous. I think he will be more crazy.
He'll be the one banging on the door.
More crazy than me, for sure.
Okay, well, we'll try and not make that happen
Exactly.
So the final one is from Brett Ralph, and it's quite a special one. So he says, you shared the video of our engagement at Silverstone under the podium in 2021, if you remember that. They get married now on the 22nd of July this year. There's no MotoGP race, so would you be the guest of honour? And if not, do you have a greeting or a few words for them to say congrats?
Actually, I think this weekend I have another engagement of a rider in MotoGP. I will not say the name because I'm not not allowed. But on that weekend there is an engagement of another rider, and I'm invited, so I can go to this one.
So you can't be the guest of honor.
I can be there. But anyway, congratulations to them. Hopefully they can enjoy as I'm doing with Laura. It's the best thing of the world to get married with your best friend. I've been lucky enough to have this feeling. So yes, congratulations.
Well, thank you very much, Aleix. And yeah, that was going to be one more question I'll ask you now, because again, you've provided the perfect opportunity. They often say that you get slower when you have a family and everything else. But it seems with you, maybe you've not got quicker, but certainly you're absolutely thriving with that side, with your family, and then with Aprilia and everything. Do you think there's any truth to that, or do you think it changes you in different ways?
No, I mean, this is just, for me, a stupid thing.
Fair.
I mean, it changed quite a lot for me. It gives me, it changed the perspective of life. And I'm not saying that MotoGP is not important. It's everything for me. I mean, but it's a job. And the day you understand this, you remove a little bit of pressure from your head. When you arrive at home on Monday after the race and you have a family there waiting for you, and you have your wife with you, allowed you to give oxygen to the brain, and when you arrive to the next GP, you arrive with more hunger, more relaxed, more happy. For me, it changed my life completely. I've been a lot more competitive since I let's say built my family with Laura, and to bring them here on track, my kids, it gives me a lot of positive energy. It's crazy to have them here. I love it. It's quite stressful because they are nervous like his dad, but at the same time, when I arrive to the motorhome, they give me a lot of positive energy, and I love it.
And what is it like for Laura then? Final question. Bringing them.
I've been super lucky. It has been my best achievement of my life has been to know Laura when I was 17 years old, because actually my life is super easy. Somebody said to me many times, your life is crazy, you never stop, what's a life? It's not true. I mean, my life is boring. I just cycle and then racing all over the world. I don't think in anything else, because I have Laura at my side that does not the things that I don't like it, and I've been super lucky to have her. Actually, I will say that a big part of my success is because Laura.
Okay, well, that's a beautiful note to end on then. Thank you so much for joining us. Best of luck this weekend. We very much hope to see you guys back at the front and converting that pole maybe for your
Hopefully I can win this first race here in Le Mans. Let's see.
It'd be good, eh?
I will try.
Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And hopefully we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you. Bye.